So today I'm going to tell you about define the consumer market and construct a simple model of buyer behavior. So what is the consumer market? The consumer market refers to a broad market segment consisting of individuals or households who purchase goods and services for personal consumption. It encompasses a wide array of products and services that cater to various needs, preferences, and desires of individual consumers. Understanding the consumer market is essential for business to tailor their marketing strategy effectively and meet the demands of the target audience. So this is a simple model of consumer buyer behavior. We have three parts. The first one is the environment. This is the starting point where marketing stimuli such as advertising, product displays, pricing, and other promotional activities are presented to the consumers. The next one is black box, consumers' mind. We have five factors, and the first factor is um, consumers perceive and interpret the marketing stimuli based on their individual characteristics, experiences, attitudes, and beliefs. Um, the second one is motivation. Internal and external factors drive consumers to act, whether it's fulfilling a need, solving a problem, or satisfying a desire. The next is learning. Consumer acquire knowledge and information from various sources, influencing their preferences and decision making. The next is attitude. Consumer attitudes toward a product or service are shaped by their beliefs and evaluations, affecting their likelihood to purchase. Uh, the last one is personality and lifestyle. Individual taste and lifestyle choices impact consumer behavior and product preferences. So the last part is response. Uh, it has two parts. It has two factors. The first is decision process. Um, so the consumer identifies a need or problem that trigger the purchase process. Additionally, consumers seek information to evaluate available options and make an informed decision. Another one is evaluation of alternatives. Consumers assess different products or services based on criteria such as price, quality, brand reputation, and personal preferences. Um, as- Besides, after evaluating alternatives, the consumer decide on the product or service to purchase. Um, After the purchase, the consumer reflects on the decision and experiences satisfaction and dissatisfaction, which can influence future buying behavior. And the last one is the consumer takes on action and makes the purchase based on their evaluation and decision making process.
In the figure 2, we will have life factor influencing consumer behavior. There are four main category here, and I will explain more um, in the next page. And about four category is that cultural, societal, personal, and the psychological. This is for main category that affect buyer on their buying decision. So that is something that we need to improve and focus on to make the buyer buy more our products. Uh, this slide is about culture. We have that culture, subculture, and subclass. There are definitions about culture and subcultures and social classes. Culture is a set of basic values, perception, wants, and behaviors learned by a member of society from a family and other important institutions. Next is subcultures. Subcultures are groups of people within a culture with shared value system based on common life experience and situation. Finally, is social classes. Social classes are society relatively permanent and other individuals whose members share similar values, interests, and behaviors, and measures at a combination of occupation, income, education, wealth, and other variables. Yeah, about major American social classes, we have upper, the very high, and after that we have middle and working classes, and the lower class is really the lowest class in our society. And we also have an example here about when our strategy is that target ASEAN's American consumer. So we focus on like their holidays, which is Chinese New Year, and we focus on the ads and promotion and even special season so that we can buy more so that we can make them buy more. Yeah. The next thing is about social. There are three things in here that group and social networks, family and roles and status. Groups and social networks is all about online social networks, both marketing, social media sites, viral works, and word of mouth. Opinion leaders. Family is the most important consumer buying organization in society. This means that family, like for example, like in your family, we have our mother who will go to the market and buy things for family. So see very important category. Roles and status can be defined by a person position in the group. For example, like children, they may weigh in heavily on family purchases. In family purchases, for example, which restaurant will the family go to eat, or which toy do they want. They also can decide on the vacation destination, or maybe a mobile devices, or even a car purchases. Uh, this is about personal. There are also five category very important here about the age and life cycle state, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, personality, and self-concept. Occupation affects the goods and services bought by consumers, and economic situation include trends in spending, personal income, savings, and interest rates. Personality refers to the unique psychological characteristic that distinguish a person or a group. Brain personality trials they also have like personal personality trials that each brain want to you know each brain want to uh, their customer to understand that clearly. Uh, First thing is like sincerity, excitement, competence, soft, sophistication, and richness. The psychological is all about motivation, perception, learning, beliefs, and attitude. Like you can see a triangle here. At the top of that is that uh, less is very important, but less than the physiology needs. The physiology needs is at the bottom of the triangle, which means that it's like the basic need of a human, and the top is that the very high demand of women of human. Selective exposure, we have a definition here that consumer notice certain stimuli and ignores the others, and selective distortion is that consumer changes or distorts information that conflicts with feelings and beliefs. And finally, selective retention is that consumer remembers only that information that supports the personal beliefs. And finally, we have here is that learning is a change in an individual behavior arising from experience and occurs throughout interplay of price, stimuli, cues, responses, and reinforcement. There are act. There are five main active things that support the learning. And a belief is a descriptive thought that a person has about something based on knowledge, opinion, and faith. An attitude describes a person's relatively consistent evolution, feelings, and tendency.
We will move on to the bio-decision process for new products. So consumers go through 5 stages in the process of adopting a new product. The first stage is awareness. The consumer becomes aware of the new product but lacks information about it. In the second is interest. The consumer seeks information about the new products. And the next one is evaluation. The consumer considers whether trying the new product makes sense. Um, and the next one is trial. The consumer tries the new product on a small scale to improve his or her estimate of its value. And the last day is adoption. These consumers decide to make phone and regular use of the new products. So, in other words, marketers should think about how to help consumers move through these stages. For example, if a company finds that many consumers are considering its products but are still tentative about buying one, it might offer sales prices or special promotion that help get consumer over the decision hump. So we will move on to individual differences in innovativeness. So, people can differ greatly in their readiness to try new products. In each product area, there are consumption pioneers and early adopters, and other individuals adopt new products much later. So you can be classified into the adopter categories shown in Figure 5.6. So we can see that the five adopter groups have differing values. The first one is innovators are venturesome. They try new ideas at some risk. Next, early adopters are guided by respect. They are opinion leaders in their communities and adopt new ideas early but carefully. And the next one is early mainstream adopters are deliberate. Although they rarely are leaders, they adopt new ideas before an average person. Um, Next is large mainstream adopters are skeptical. They adopt an innovation only after a majority of people have tried it. Finally, lagging adopter are traditional bound. They are suspicious of changes and adopt the innovation only when it has become something of a traditional itself. This means that an innovating firm should research the characteristic of innovators and early adopters in their products categories and direct initial marketing efforts toward them. So let's move on to influence of product characteristic of on rates of adoption. We will have five characteristics are especially important in influencing an innovation rate of adoption. A relative advantage is the first factor. The degree to which the innovation appears superior to existing products. The next factor is compatibility, the degree to which the innovation fits the values and experiences of potential consumers. The next factor is complexity. The degree to which the innovation is difficult to understand or use. The divisibilities, um, either either for factors on the degree to which the innovation may be tried on a limited basis. And the last one is communicability, the degree to which the results of using the innovation can be um, observed and described to the others.
So let's move to the fourth question is describe the adoption and diffusion process for new product. So the buyer decision process for new product. Let's talk about the meaning first. A new product is a product, service, or idea that is considered new by some potential customer, and how consumers learn about products for the first time and make decision on whether to adopt them, and the mental process that an individual go through from initial understanding of an innovation to ultimate acceptance is called the adoption process. Beside that, consumers go through 5 stages in the process of adopting a new product. This is awareness, interest, evaluation, trial, and adoptions. Is become aware of a new product but lacks of information, seeks information about a new product, and consider whether trying the new product makes sense. Taxis try the new product on a small side to enhance their perceptions of their values. And the last one is decided to use the new product. So, whether in the process of applying in popularizing new products, we also include individual difference in innovativeness, as people vary widely in their willingness to try new products. In every product sector, there's a consumer pioneer, an early adopter. Other individuals adopt new product much later, which means an innovative company should study a characteristic of the innovator and early adopter in their product category and direct intentional marketing effort toward them. Then, to popularize new products is necessary to mention the influence of product characteristics on adoption rate. Innovation adoption rate are influenced by product demonstration and description. Essential cost, risk, and social approach. Marketer must research these factors when developing new products and marketing programs. So for the first questions or chapter 6 is define a business market and explain how business market differ from consumer markets. First, the business market is a hutch, and in fact, business market involve far more dollar and item than do consumer market. Even in large business market, a few buyers often account for most of the purchasing. With inelastic and fluctuating demand, the total demand for many business products is not much affected by price changes, especially in the short run. Professional purchasing again develops skill for better business purchases, which means the more complex the purchase, the more likely it is that several people will participate in the decision-making process. Business buyers usually face more complex buying decisions than do consumer buyers, so the buying process is longer and more formalized, requiring details, specification, written orders, supplier searches, and formal approval. Finally, business buying involved a strong relationship between buyer and seller. B2B marketer collaborate with customer throughout the buying process, addressing problems, finding solutions, and supporting after-sale operations. In the long run, they retain customer by meeting their needs. These two markets are similar in only one way. They both involve people who are buying road and make a purchase decision to satisfy this, but for different size It is about five or four differences between them. You see, the business market involve more dollar in good than the consumer market, which means large market and stable economic source of them. Business marketers typically deal with a smaller number of buyers but have much larger customer base than customer marketer, which means it has great influence and maintain service quality is good. The next is the main difference or market structure, request, nature of purchasing unit, type of the decisions, and the decisions process involved these different shows how the business market and the customer market have a big gap in how they operate and maintain a customer by while still meeting customer need.
Now we will discuss about business buyer behaviors in organizations. Buying comprise of buying centers and buying decision process. And here are some major type of buying situations. The first is trade rebuy. That means business buying situations in which the buyer routinely reorder something without any modifications. The second is modify revive. That means the buyer want to modify the product's specifications, price term or suppliers. And the last is new tasks. That means the buyers purchase a product or service for the first time. And participants in the business buying process include users, members of buying organizations who will actually use the purchased products or service. Next is influences, like people in an organization's buying centers who affect the buying decisions. Like they often help define specifications and also provide information for evaluating alternatives. Buyers, that mean people in organizations buying centers who actually make them purchase. Deciders, people who have formal and informal power to select or approve the final supply. And the last is gatekeepers, people in organizations buying centers who controls the flow of information to others. And next, images influences on business buyer. In the first, I will talk about the environmental and organizational. And what does it mean, the environmental factors? This means business buyers are heavily influenced by the economic environmentals and the factor life, demand, cost of money, and outlook. Supply of key material affect buying at scarce materials or key leave health in inventory. Culture and customer inflow reaction to especially in internal environments. And next is organizationals. These include questions about the strategies, objective, structures, and system of buying organizationals. Next is interpersonal factors. These matter as the buying centers include participants that influence each other. It's difficult to assess them and determine who had the most influence. And the last is individual factors. These include personal emotive perceptions and preferences. And net lessons is the process of buying business. And the first step is problem recognitions. Someone in the company recognize a problem or needs that can be met the acquiring a good or service. Next step is general need descriptions. Either stay in the business buying process in which a buyer describe the general characteristics and quantity of a needed item. Next step is product specifications. That means business buying process in which the buying organization decide on and specific the best technical products characteristics for a needed item. And the next is supplier search. It the state in which the buyer try to find the best vendors. Next is proposal solicitations, and in this stage, the buyer invite qualified supplier to submit proposals. Next step is supplier selections, and in this stage, the buyer review proposal and select the supplier. Step 7, order routine specifications. Uh, that means the buyer write the final orders with the chosen suppliers, listening the technical clearly, quantity needed, and expect time of delivery, return policies. And the last step is performance review. Uh, like the buyer assessed the performance of the supplier and decided to continue, modify, or drop the arrangement.
Okay, next we'll move to engaging business buyers with digital and social marketing. So there are two important technology advancements. First is e-procurement, and second is online purchasing and B2B digital and social media marketing. Okay, first we'll move to e-procurement. E-procurement is purchasing through electronic connection between buyers and sellers, usually online. Companies can do e-procurement in any of several ways. They can conduct reserve auction, in which they put their purchasing requests online and invite suppliers to bid for the business, or they can engage in online trading exchanges, through which companies work collectively to facilitate the trading process. And the second is business-to-business digital and social media marketing, also mean B2B digital and social media marketing. It is using digital and social media marketing approaches to engage business customer and manage customer relationship anywhere, anytime. B2B marketers know that they aren't really targeting businesses. They are targeting individuals in those businesses who affect buying decisions, and today's business buyers are always connected via their digital devices, whether it's PCs, tablets, or smartphones. So next for 6.5 is the institutional and governmental markets. First is institutional markets. Institutional market mean they are including schools, hospital, nursing homes, prison, and other institutions that provide goods and services to people in their care. So many markets are characterized by low budgets and captive patrons. So, for example, that hospital patient have little choice but to eat whatever food the hospital supplies. A hospital purchasing as a part of total service package. The buying objective is not profit, thus the hospital purchasing agent must search for institutional food vendors whose quality meet for exceed a certain minimum standard and whose prices are low. Second is government market. Government market, including government units, federal, state, and local, that purchase or rent goods and services for carrying out the main function of government. Government organizations typically require suppliers to submit bids, and normally they award the contract to the lowest bidder. In some cases, a governmental unit will make allowance for the supplier's superior quality or reputation for completing contracts on time. And that is the end of our presentation for chapter 5 and 6. Thank you for listening.